Hello, welcome back to BSLIVE. Today I will be doing a bit of animations using Grease Pencil in Blender, and I will be using this as reference. So this is what something I found a few months ago. It's a twig. It's a stick doing a dance. It's a I don't know if this is gonna work inside Blender, but we're just gonna try it anyway. So let's get started. So this is Blender. We're gonna by default you have all this box, etc. Just tap A, X, delete all. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the front view and we're gonna work using Grease Pencil here. We're gonna bring in that reference image. So Twig. Right, so we have this already by the master animators. We just need to bring this, we need to convert this as Grease Pencil. Shift A, create blank Grease Pencil. Okay. And the next thing we want to do is, while Grease Pencil object is selected, we go to Draw, and here you have few options. You can just maybe I like to pick up a brush preset, and we can start doodling, right? Okay, let's actually do that. With Grease, when we draw Grease Pencil, there's actually a few things we need to set up, but I'm going to show you along the way. So it's things like onion skinning is not on by default, and material we don't have material yet. We don't have layer. Anyway, we're just gonna start right away. So we have 12 different poses here. 12 is actually quite a lot. 12 can feel a minute, maybe, depends on how the dance going. So let's make our first stroke. I will use the torso, the head and the torso as a single stroke. And I'm gonna draw it as good as I can. So one stroke from top to the bottom, yeah, and then the arm. So right arm, left arm, okay. Right leg, left leg. So this is the first stroke, and we want to go to the next one. And we're just gonna draw it anyway. So this one actually kind of moved back, so this one's a bit leaning to the front. This is actually more like ballet, I guess. This one, I don't know where the front, where the back, I'm not sure. Maybe I should do it this way. So, because we are uncertain about the leg positions, it's a bit like ballet. Just gonna do it anyway. Follow your instinct. You might notice we don't have onion skinning, but that's yeah, don't worry too much about it. So this pose, the next one, is actually quite interesting. This is a very dynamic pose. And the next one is more like static. So if you cannot see the keyframe or whatever, it's actually being drawn in the background, but you can't see it because you need to switch to the dope sheet, and under there's a Grease Pencil, and there you go. You need to match this one on the timeline and the one on under here, the Grease Pencil keyframe. There's a summary and then etc. You can have Grease Pencil layer. Don't worry, we only have single layer. We're gonna do something really simple. We actually have animation already, even though they're kind of, maybe the keyframe is kind of all over the place and the posing is not on, it's not correct. We can fix that later. If you wanna see the onion skinning, okay, let's save this quickly. GP Twig dance. Maybe let's draw another frame before we tweak this. Okay, this is like static in the center, but we just don't go center and don't go to like, don't make the pose too static. Just make it a bit more dynamic. So this one can do that. So if you can see a bit of movement, you might actually do something correctly. Okay, continue. So next one also a little bit static, but he's kind of like doing this S thing. And let's see. So you get a bit of groove there. Try to do vibing. Oh, this one actually, he or she is, the Twig is doing a jump. Very interesting. So I'm drawing stroke by stroke, and I'm ensuring each one is drawn in order, because at some point you might want to interpolate it. So yeah, Blender grease pencil actually have a way to interpolate between strokes, even though it's not the best interpolations, but it's still it's there, and you can control the spacing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I make sure I'm not lost count. So again, it's doing like kind of like a jump, but it's more like I said, it's more like a ballet. So there's a lot of interesting pose. We might need to tweak some of the poses. Okay, see, like this one, for example, it's very much like a ballet. It's pretty interesting, and I'm only drawing this on the single layer flat. It's not yet 3D, but we can make it 3D. So I made a mistake there. Okay, this body is doing that. Very cool pose. So nature is sometimes pretty lit. It's true. You never know what's the nature gonna give you. So just keep moving on and dance. So 12 different poses, and this one we don't even think about the pose. I mean, we draw the poses, but we haven't thought about the timing or spacing, so that's important. So this is the whole animations. The pose might be not in order, but maybe we can fix it. It's doing interesting poses at least, and if you draw like the flipbook animations, it's there. So okay, onion skinning. Okay, onion skinning is hidden under here. We need to turn it on. There's also this thing that's in Blender. If you always draw grease pencil on a flat canvas, and then we don't have any materials, we can make our stroke thicker. Nice. It has more personality and weight. Weight is actually very important. If you draw like stick figure, it gives you a lot of character. You might see that it's actually growing the way I draw it. Interesting. And onion skin is still not showing because you need to turn it on for here. So green and purple purple showing the next, green showing the ones before. Okay, so let's save this. I don't know about the timing yet, but I want to show you something. Interpolation. So we have interpolate. It's very interesting. This will try to interpolate between frame. When you do that, it tries, right, from this pose to the next pose. Like I said, it's not the best interpolators. It's not following the order somehow. I wish it's kind of do that. Otherwise, it's gonna be like pretty bad. But you can extrapolate. Extrapolate seems to be working a little bit. Don't know why I want to extrapolate there, but it's adding a single frame anyway. So this and that kind of, it's kind of doing interpolations, but it's more like extrapolate, you know. Sure. It's gonna add all these interpolations. It's at least it's showing. Sometimes it works. It's adding a frame anyway. This is nice. It's pushing the pose. So from here to there, it's kind of correct. I'm gonna keep doing this. And something it's so there's always before keyframe and there's one after. It's probably one when you're interpolating, you want to know which one you want to lean it toward. So I'm actually dragging my mouse left and right, and I can select. If you're actually drawing a proper animations, you want to ensure your character never lost volume or growing in this case. You can always tweak it, but it's okay for now. The nice thing about Blender Grease Pencil is, of course, you can hit tab anywhere, anytime. This is you're in edit mode, and you can actually move everything. Everything is points. It's point based, and then you can actually sculpt it. You can sculpt your points. Okay, so this is actually really quite powerful. You can tweak your pose. Like, for example, this is the interpolations. Can I tweak it? Yes. Yes, if this is like two things together, what's the thing? There's something in the tool controlling your sculpt, so you're only sculpting the first edit. Anyway, don't worry too much about the details for now. Just gonna tweak this. So this is 120 frames. Of the Twig dance. So from here to there, it's actually quite nice. It's got a pop. It's almost like the dance from Prince of Bel-Air. I forgot what it's called. Pop. And then, so maybe after the pop, he should stay a bit longer, because currently I draw all the 12 frames of this twig with the same timing. That's why it's a bit boring. But if you pop it here, and then maybe if I kind of playing around with the timing here, because this is like a simple hand drawn, it's easy. Easy to manipulate the timing and spacing also. So I like whenever character goes from straight lines into this S, that's where it's nice. It's become like nice. There's a nice pop. So we are still in edit mode, and I can really push this. So it's good for making like planning animations for your 3D animations. Here it's a little bit too static, so I'm just gonna move that. So it's something called a moving hold. So it's like, oops. And like this part is a bit weak, so we're just gonna bend it, make it more dynamic. It depends how it's gonna go. And then he's doing this slightly strange body move. And suddenly broken here. And he does that. I mean, maybe the problem I have currently, I could work this out so the animation is not like he's not like floating. He should be, because one leg should be on the floor, and he shouldn't suddenly make a pop like that. Like here, I'm just gonna go to edit mode. I'm gonna move him there actually, so it makes sense from that frame to the next frame. Then you make a jump. Suddenly does that. Well, maybe I'm making it worse, but this is the animations, so I can tweak this maybe a bit longer on my own time, but you can make this yourself. Maybe I give you the blend file so you can play around with this. You can see the onion skin is there while I'm doing this, or is that a shadow? Maybe that's a shadow. And this character, if you like, you can add modifier and add a noise. So it's doing this noise while it's dancing. It's a bit more natural. So that's the dance. That's the Twig dance recreated using grease pencil in Blender. It has potentials. You can always turn this into 3D using my sphere chop trick. Let's see if this works. So it's turning the stroke into points with a number that's depending on the spacing. And if I use polyline viewer, hopefully this becomes 3D stroke. There it's become a pipe. It's more like 3D, and it's actually kind of faster. It's 24 frames per second. I quite like when he does the pop here. Maybe after the pop, the pose is something is missing there to interpolate between. And then, that's another S pop that gives the character a lot. This maybe should be straight lines. I can always tweak that. The last pose, he should make a jump, I think, not on the floor. So select the grease pencil, go back to edit mode. So when he does this, it's when he actually make a jump. With the jump, I should have made the character a little bit more dynamic. I mean, and then here he landed, or she, he or she landed. Let's try not to make too much changes. Landed and twist. Yep. That makes more sense and more dynamic because he is now, or she is now on the space. And again, he made a jump there. So he used, this character now use the space a little bit better. From this dance. I have a feeling I can sculpt that a little bit better. This, and from here to here, there's too much gap. Oh, cool. I can still interpolate. It's doing the motion swing. It's like a swing motion. Anyhow, I can stay all day doing animations. Animation is not something that you do very quickly. It takes some time, but with a bit of love and dedications, you can make a nice animations. Okay, and to entertain your friends or entertain yourself. Maybe I should give some music. But anyway, that's a quick grease pencil, simple, basic animations tutorial. Hopefully you find this interesting and useful. I didn't touch anything about layers. I did use the onion skinning. Materials, we can change the materials here with this character. Yeah, anyway. I didn't touch about fill and multiple layers, multiple materials, but I cover a lot, and this should be fun for you to try. Let's move this guy to the side. So that's the 3D. This is the grease pencil 2D with all the onion skinning. I can turn off the onion skinning. So there you go, that's the animations. Okay, with this on, it's actually slower. Okay, the Twig dance. Hopefully you find this useful and entertaining. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.